Hello! How is everyone doing? So, do you have your mind on an R6? Do you just want to know the specs? Are you just here for something to do? Let me know down in the description so I know who my audience is. Alright, alright, let's get started with the specs. So for just a little bit over $12,000, you get a machine that weighs around 420 pounds, give or take, depending wet or dry. And it has ABS, traction control, and 3 different riding modes, A, standard, and B mode. And it claims to have a 0 to 60 time around 3 seconds, depending on the rider. Always depends on the rider, but the machine can do it in about 3 seconds. Alright, and you have the length, which is 54.1 inches. Now, that's a little bit less than other bikes, but also still kind of average. You have the Gixxer 600 with 54.5, ZX6R with 55.1, a little bit longer, and then the CBR 600 with 53.9, a little bit less. So this bike can come up a little bit easier. It is smaller, but you still get the back road sensation with it. Okay, time for the pro and con list. I will start with a con. This is my least favorite part of the bike, even though it is not a part of the bike. So other manufacturers are catching on to putting steering dampeners on the bike before it even gets to the customer. And this bike needs one, but it does not have one. They made a light bike with a whole lot more mid-range than it was back in like 2006 or like the last model of it. So when it comes up and it hits the ground, even just a tad bit, the front tire will try to find traction and it will take slap. So this is con 1. Alright, let's counter that with a pro. I want to stress this pro so much. This bike's maneuverability is insane. I've never ridden a bike with such good dynamics in how it was made and how it turns. I've rode all kinds of different bikes, and this bike is by far the best at turning, whether it be low speeds or high speeds. It handles flawlessly, and with the tires that come on it, they're really good. They stick. Bad tread life, but they stick, so I like them. Um, so just keep that in mind. Okay, back on the con list. Now I feel like this will be most people's biggest problem with the bike, and that is the price. Now, what the bike has to offer and what it is, the price is not awful. I mean, a little over $12,000. Now, if you compare that to the ZX6R, which is a few grand less, and $1,000 left, so if you get the Karate edition. Now, the R6 is a great bike, and it is a track monster, but for the price, that kills most people, and that is my con number 2. Okay, the next pro on this list is the power it has. Now, I see some places claim it has 117 horsepower and other places say it has 122 horsepower, and that is significantly more than what it was before. Now, it's not a huge jump, but a big thing about how it exerts the power is the mid-range. Before, there were no mid-range on it, and that's why a lot of people preferred the ZX6R over top of it, because that bike ruled in the mid-range for the 600 class. Now this bike has stepped up its game, and it has more mid-range than what it did before, because before it wouldn't pick up till 8 or 10,000 RPM, then it shot off like a rocket. Now this actually gets you there a whole lot faster. So I will finish up with a pro and a con, depending how you're looking at it. It can go both ways. Now this bike was designed for the track, so it is sleek, it is aerodynamic. Even the rear of it has its own spoiler for the air to exit and keep you planted on the ground. Now with that said, there is not hardly any extra space if you need to put your wallet or anything like that. There's no room back there. There's no room under the seat, just room for wires, and that's it. Maybe insurance paper. And so it's lightweight too. So that's another great thing about this bike, but it's not comfy. And that's another thing. You lean in so far, the seat is okay. I can tolerate the seat, but riding position is extremely uncomfortable, but that adds to the aerodynamics of the bike. It's so aggressive, but yet so uncomfortable. A lot of times I find myself having shoulder cramps because I'm just keeping one hand on the throttle while my other hand is resting on the tank. But if you want an aggressive bike with good aerodynamics, lightweight but still can hook on the ground through the turns, this is the bike for you. Now, if you want something to cruise through town, something to put some, stuff in to carry, this is not the bike for you unless you carry a backpack or, something and you can tolerate long rides hunched over. So this all depends on what you want.